Hello, Bla Bla Blasters! Welcome to a new video of this special series that I am doing revealing all the secrets behind the production of RuPaul's Drag Race. Today we're going to talk about the 5th season. So let's start with all the juicy information right now.
By the time season 5 of RuPaul's Drag Race hit screens in 2013, the show had already gone from scrappy cult darling to reality juggernaut. But this season, turbocharged with pageant titans, viral memes, and deeply personal storytelling, didn't just entertain, it changed everything. Season 4 was the turning point, one producer recalled. But season 5 made it essential television. The cast featured an eclectic mix of 14 queens, from Ivy Winters, who walked stilts in the workroom, to Monica Beverly Hills, who made Drag Race history as the first contestant to come out as a trans woman on the main stage. Florida pageant queens Roxxxy Andrews and Coco Montrese brought glamour and drama, while Texas legend Alyssa Edwards added dance dynamite. Then there was Jinkx Monsoon, the quirky queen from Seattle whose narcolepsy, vulnerability, and unmatched comedic chops would come to define the season. "When I have a sleep attack," Jinkx explained, "it feels like how you feel when you take sleeping pills. All of a sudden, your eyes become extremely heavy, and you can't keep your eyes open." Many queens didn't buy it. "Did she have a doctor's note?" Alyssa asked. "Because that lady is an actress." Roxxxy Andrews was blunt. "I never saw that hoe fall asleep." Ivy Winters admitted, "At the time, I wasn't sure if it was an act for TV. Even producers were skeptical. She didn't fall asleep on her audition," recalled Theron Smothers. "Not that I remember, but she mentioned it." But Jinkx insisted her condition was real even if it became part of the show's narrative fabric. "There were moments when it was authentic, and there were moments when it was played up," she later confessed. Despite the questioning, Jinkx's challenges in the competition were overshadowed by an even bigger rivalry, one that dated back long before filming began. When Alyssa Edwards and Coco Montrese entered the workroom, viewers sensed the tension before a word was spoken. The two had once been close friends until a scandal rocked their shared world. Alyssa had won Miss Gay America 2010, but was later stripped of her title. As runner-up, Coco assumed the crown. "That caused a rift in our relationship," Alyssa admitted. "When we walked into that room, we hadn't spoken in 2 years," Coco added. "I wanted to say, 'Girl, why didn't you talk to me? Why didn't you pick up the phone?' Pageant politics became primetime drama. I gained a crown," Coco said, "but I lost a friend." Alyssa was still hurt. "This was something I worked really hard for, and these guys are taking it away." What made their feud TV gold was how real and unresolved it was. "That will go down in history," Alyssa declared. "Drag Race her story." And the producers knew it. "We definitely wanted to have this big, draggy story," Michelle Mills later said. As tension flared between Alyssa and Coco, another storyline took shape outside the main stage: the birth of Rolaska Talks. Detox, Alaska, and Roxxxy Andrews, bonded by cigarettes and shared experience, became season 5's infamous clique. "We were just the smokers," Detox said. But then Alaska started putting hidden messages on her shirt. Roxxxy was blunt. "We wanted to be a little clique because in our minds, we're the bad bitches here." Michelle Visage wasn't impressed. "Cliques are dangerous," she warned. "It can become a problem." To Jinkx, it wasn't just a clique, it was a strategic power imbalance. You have two people rooting for you while everyone else in the room had everyone rooting against them. It was annoying, and I was jealous. While Rolaska Talks bonded over smokes and sass, Jinkx stood isolated. And that isolation would later come to define the emotional undercurrent of the season. As the queens battled through weekly challenges, it wasn't always the runways or roasts that left the biggest cultural impact. Sometimes it was a meme born from shade and camera angles. In Untucked, tensions flared between Alyssa Edwards and Jade Jolie. It began as a verbal scuffle and ended with a single line that would become drag lore. Jade, "You have rolls all over the place in the back." Alyssa, stunned. "Back rolls?" Craning her neck to the camera. The moment exploded online. At the time, that was a trigger, Alyssa confessed. But I took some back rolls and turned them into bank rolls. Coco Montrese tried to warn her. I asked her, "Are you gonna wear that?" And that was her cue to say no. She didn't take the hint. I don't think I ever thought I'd be remembered for saying back rolls on TV, Alyssa later mused, but it's been a big part of my legacy. In a challenge pairing queens to makeover dolls into junior drag superstars, Alaska and Linisha Sparks birthed an icon. Lil Poundcake, with her angry eyebrows and foul mouth, became a cult favorite. She had the pretty dress that Linisha made, Roxxxy remembered, and she was giving the middle finger. Genius. Alaska described her vision. She hates this. She doesn't want to be here. I took on the character of the overbearing stage mother. Detox recalled the workroom reaction. We were dying during the speeches. We were losing our shit. Lil Poundcake became more than a doll. She became a drag race legend. The most iconic lip sync of the season, and perhaps of the entire franchise, came when Alyssa and Roxxxy landed in the bottom and had to battle to Whip My Hair by Willow Smith. It was fierce. It was fire, Alyssa recalled. We turned it out all right, but it was Roxxxy who stunned the judges by yanking off her wig to reveal another underneath, a first in drag race history. That wig under the wig moment created the expression, "Never take off your wig, unless there's another wig underneath," said Tom Campbell. Michelle Visage was floored. That was legendary. When you do things I haven't seen before, it blows my fucking mind. Then came the tears. After the performance, Roxxxy broke down in front of RuPaul and the judges. The emotion had been simmering all season. Now it boiled over. I wasn't even thinking, Roxxxy said, and I just blurted out, I was left at a bus stop. She revealed that, at just 3 years old, her mother had abandoned her and her sister. The workroom, the judges' table, even the control booth went silent. There's no way that was fake, said producer Tom Campbell. It was a deep, primal wail. Michelle Visage cried on camera for the first time. I'm an adopted kid. I know what it feels like to not feel loved. Detox, a longtime friend, was shaken. She's always maintained this exterior, but to see her that vulnerable, it was heartbreaking. Jinkx Monsoon was conflicted. One moment, I'm wishing Roxxxy would go home, and the next moment she's sharing this painful, traumatic experience. In the end, neither queen was eliminated. It was the first double save of the season, and one of the most emotionally charged. I was pissed, Alaska confessed. We thought it would be Final 5, and then it was like Final 6 again. But for RuPaul and the judges, it was about more than competition. We get to choose our families, Tom Campbell said. You couldn't send anyone home after that. As Drag Race moved toward its finale, the season's central arcs collided. The feud between Coco Montrese and Alyssa Edwards reached its climax. The Rolascatox trio began to fray, and one underestimated queen emerged as the inevitable frontrunner, but not without obstacles. Since episode 1, fans and queens alike had been waiting for it, the inevitable showdown between Coco and Alyssa. A real-life feud years in the ye-dots, making the pair finally went head-to-head in the Drama Queens episode. It was finally here, Detox recalled. We're all living in the back. That song is amazing. I knew the song like the back of my hand, Coco explained. Dance-wise, Alyssa was going to dance me into the floor, but I could embody this song. The track? Paula Abdul's Cold-Hearted. Coco knew it intimately. It was in her regular performance rotation. She even said to me later, Coco shared, if I have to lose to anybody, girl, I would have wanted to lose to you. That meant the world to me. Alyssa, ever theatrical, took it in stride. It was everything, she said. That spotlight hits you. It's the biggest adrenaline rush I have ever experienced. Despite their rivalry, the lip sync brought closure to a chapter that had hurt both women deeply. It really is a journey of courageous souls sharing their stories, Alyssa later reflected. But my favorite part? The lip sync for your life. As the pressure mounted, Rolascatox, once seen as a girl group power alliance, began to crack. Judges criticized the clique for giving off exclusive vibes, and Alaska started to question her role. The judges kept telling us, "Don't do that," Alaska said. So I thought, we should listen to them so we can do better. Roxxxy, meanwhile, doubled down. Jinx was no competition, she said early on. We were the it girls. But the editing and the growing fandom painted a different picture. Jinx wasn't just surviving, she was thriving. I think Roxxxy could have been a little nicer, Detox admitted. It wasn't as bad as it was portrayed, but still. Alaska found herself caught between two forces, her clique and her growing admiration for Jinx. I think she related to Jinx somewhat, said producer Michelle Mills. So she was in a little bit of a weird situation. Jinx is an open book, Alaska later said. That's why America fell in love with her. Despite repeated attacks from her competitors, Jinx didn't waver, at least not publicly. Every time I'm on that stage saying, "Water off," a duck's back. It's because I thought I was going home, she revealed. The mantra became her armor, but it also became ammo for others. When I noticed it irritated people, she said, of course I started saying it constantly. This is a competition. As the finale approached, tensions reached a boiling point. Roxxxy's strategy grew more aggressive. I started really going in for Jinx, Roxxxy admitted. If I can't beat her, throw her off her game. She said to me, "Seeing you in the bottom," Jinx recalled. That's her favorite, part of the competition. Despite the shade, Jinx pressed on and began confronting the hostility head-on. I said, "How do you hate me enough to say that to me?" She remembered. We've had all these moments, all these transformations, and that's what you focus on? To her surprise, Roxxxy apologized. But the damage had been done. She was trying to play mind games, Jinx said. I think she genuinely felt bad at times, but she kept going back. Even Detox acknowledged the hostility. There were times where I said, all right, reel it in. But the judges saw what mattered most. Jinx, from the very beginning, was open. To all my criticism, Michelle Visage said, she tried harder and harder every week. She had charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, Alyssa added. She was theatrical. She had all the qualities. Jinkx Monsoon had endured shade, suspicion, and sleep attacks. As the finale approached, it became clear, to producers, queens, and fans alike, that this wasn't just her season. It was her story. But the final twist? A song swap that left everyone whispering conspiracy before filming the finale lip syncs. Queens were given iPods filled with potential tracks. One song, En Vogue's Free Your Mind, had been circulating as the expected final number. But on the day of the performance, producers switched it to Malambo No. 1 by Yma Sumac. I love that song, Jinx admitted, but I didn't think it would actually be used. Roxxxy, however, wasn't buying it. As soon as they saw Jinx's outfit, Miss Reindeer Santa Claus, they changed the song, and we knew. I got you, television. Detox was more direct. As soon as they changed the song, I knew I was going home. I started packing my bags. Tom Campbell, one of the show's executive producers, denied any favoritism. If we changed it, it would have been around a clearance issue. I like that conspiracy theory, though. Still, whispers persisted. I said in the workroom. Jinx recalled, if you have to lip sync against me, you better hope it's not Malambo No. 1. So, maybe they helped me. But I would have won with any song. Britney, En Vogue, even Fuck the Police. She performed her heart out, and Detox, despite her stellar track record, was eliminated. Detox is a fierce lip syncer, Alaska noted. But Jinx was galvanized. She wasn't going to lose. At the finale taping, the energy in the room made the outcome feel inevitable. You could feel that it was Jinx's moment, Alaska said. It was her season. But backstage, emotions were complicated. I felt like I won the season, Roxxxy later admitted. I had to go out on a limb more than anyone. But she won. She was a great queen, well-deserved. For Alaska, though, it was crushing. I knew I wasn't going to win, she confessed. But I couldn't say that out loud. It would have been insulting to everyone who believed in me. That morning, she told me, Jinkx recalled, I'm a sore loser. I'm going to throw a tantrum. Just know it's not about you. And tantrum she did. She was yelling, throwing things, storming through the courtyard. At the last second, she looked me in the eye and winked. It was fabulous, Alaska admitted later. It was a release. But the drama didn't end there. She performed her song, then flopped down on the stage and wouldn't leave, Jinkx said. Mimi, who was DJing, played the next track, Don't Cry Out Loud. Alaska starts scream singing. From the ground. They had to drag her off stage by her ankles, and then I had to go on. How could I top that? It was absurd, dramatic, and deeply Alaska. When the finale aired, Jinkx was surrounded by her castmates in New York City. And, though the moment had been filmed months before, this was her real crowning moment. I screamed and cried, she said. That was when it finally felt real. Jinkx deserved it, Michelle Visage said. She was open to growth. That's what I care about most. Even Roxxxy was there to hug her. I was so happy for her, Roxxxy shared. We had become friends. Jinkx, for all her self-doubt, had won not just the title, but also the audience's heart. This wasn't just about wigs and lip syncs, she said. It was about telling our stories. And she had told hers, awkwardly, vulnerably, brilliantly. As RuPaul crowned America's next drag superstar, Jinkx bowed, grinned, and gave the world a catchphrase that would echo through drag her story. Get ready, bitches. It's monsoon season.
And now that you know all this juicy information, I invite you to keep an eye on my channel because I will be bringing you more information soon. Goodbye!